Welcome back to another episode of Talking Kicks with Mastro Mixes. I'm Mastro Mixes, and this is going to be a little different type of episode, special episode, and it's going to be done in two parts. This is part one. I'm doing these because you asked for them. I always make little deals that say, if there's something you'd like to see me talk about, like me to show you, let me know, and I'll make the video. Well, somebody asked me to show, and the person that asked me this obviously knows me well, because they asked me to show my favorite 1 through 14s and my favorite non-OG colorway 1 through 14s. Well, that was smart because you knew that most of my favorites are all going to be OG colorways, because I'm partial to the nostalgia in them or whatever, because Michael Jordan actually wore them. And that's what got me into doing all of this, was Michael Jordan. So I'm going to do part one is going to be my favorite 1 through 14. And then I'll do a part two that'll show my favorite non-OG colorways 1 through 14. So let's get started. I'm going to go through them all, and I'll tell you kind of why they're my favorites of each shoe 1 through 14. We're going to start out with my favorite one. And this is probably not the ones most people would expect. It is an OG colorway. This is the Jordan Black Toe High OG 1. I've had this in, I think, every release it's ever done in. This one happens to be my favorite, and it's one of the most recent. I want to say this is 2016, maybe. That tag's way down in there, and I need reading glasses, so I can't tell you for sure. I want to say maybe it's 2018. I don't remember for sure. But it's the last high OG release of the Black Toes, what this one is, other than the low, which I also have. But this is my favorite one of all time. This shoe is probably in my top 5 shoes of all time. Not only just the color blocking on it is amazing. It's an OG that Jordan wore. It's also the shoe my son came home from the hospital wearing. Of course, his wasn't quite shaped like this because infant shoes are a little different, but it's always been a special pair to me. Now, the only model that I got 2 pair out on was because one of them just needs an honorable mention, and I'm torn between which one is my favorite, sort of. And it's the Jordan 2. I pulled this one out, and I'm going to be really gentle with it because this is not the retro. This is the OG from 1986, and it's very, very brittle, and there's parts of it that are cracking off, and so I'm not going to handle it too much. And just because it's the Chicago colorways, it's what Jordan wore, it's very special to me, and the fact that I have one of the original from 1986, I love it. But I have to say, just because of the colors on it, again, not what you would expect, my favorite 2 of all time is actually the Concord Tour 2. I love purple. I'm a big K-State fan, and I was shocked to see them do one of these in purple. They call it Concord Purple. And just all around, for the look of it, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of 2s anyway. I have very few pairs of 2s. But this one I actually wear with some of my K-State gear at times. I love the color blocking on it. I love the gray elephant print in it, and I love the purple accents on it. So that is my favorite 2. My favorite 3 is kind of tough between this one and the black cement. This is the white cement 3. I'm real torn. Sometimes I'll go black cement 3. Sometimes I'll go white cement 3. Today I'm going white cement 3. Very clean, classic look. Jordan wore it. Jordan accomplished a lot in this shoe. This is the shoe that saved sneakers for all of us. Jordan was about to give up his contract with Nike and leave them and go and sign with Adidas because he didn't like the Jordan 2. And he didn't trust Nike to make the right shoes after the very second shoe. They brought in Tinker Hatfield. He designed this one and created it, and Jordan loved it, re-signed the contract, and stayed with them forever. So this shoe is responsible for everything in this room, sort of. Without this, would we have a sneaker culture today? Nobody knows. But thank God we do. I love this shoe. As far as 4s go, I love 4s in general. And everybody watching this that follows me or has followed me for any amount of time or knows me in person knows my very favorite shoe of all time, hands down, is the Military Blue 4. This is my all-time number one favorite shoe all time. It's going to re-release later this year with the Nike Air on the back, the way the OG was. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to try to double up on those. And I hope I don't have to pay a reseller price, because I am definitely, no matter what, going to have a pair. Then we go to the 5. My favorite all-time 5 is an OG colorway, but it may surprise you which one it is. And that is the white grape 5. I like the black grape too. I actually kind of like the alternate grape, the all purple one. But this is my all-time favorite shoe. I love the colors in it. I love what it was made for, why the design came out. And if you look into your history, you'll find Jordan actually did wear this shoe, just not in a game. He did wear it on the cover of a Wheaties box. And I actually have that Wheaties box. I'm not going to get up and get it out. It's in some of my other videos if you want to see it. My son got it for me. It's an unopened, sealed box from 1990 with Jordan on the front wearing Grape 5s. You can see it in my intro video as well. Still has the poster stuck to the box that unfolds, that I've never even taken off the box and unfolded the poster. So I don't even know what's on it. But this is my all-time favorite 5. This is also a pair in my top 5 favorite all-time shoes. And then we go to the 6, and I'm kind of torn between 2 different 6s. But I'm going to settle for the maroon 6. I waited and waited and waited for this shoe to finally retro. And when it did, it came out flawless, perfect. And I really thought that people would go crazy over this shoe as long as we waited for it to finally retro. And then it was really easy to get, and it's never had a lot of hype to it. I don't know why. It's just gorgeous. It's different. It was built with very good quality. Not quite the quality of the Motorsport 6, which is just insane, but it's still a very good shoe. And colors are different. With the burgundy, it stands out. Very clean looking. I love it. The 7 also is going to be one that might surprise everybody, and I'm torn between the Cardinal and the Orlando. The Orlando for the coloring in it. The Cardinal is also amazing. I have not the very latest Cardinal, but the one before that, still in like past its dead stock condition, even though it's been worn like 100 times. And so the quality on it is great. But when I had to pick a favorite, I'm going to go with the Orlando 7. I love this because it's done so different. It's one of the only 7s that doesn't have the multicolored weird shapes on the front. It kind of looks like I don't know, it's reminiscent to me of like a baseball jersey or something. But then on the back of the tongue, it's got the score of the game when Jordan defeated, and it says March 4th, 1993, 64 points. Jordan scored 64 points in that game against the Magic. Colorway is just amazing. The blue in it, the detail in the markings on the midsole or whatever. And if you look real close, now these have been redone. Just that midsole coloring and the design in it. When you get these, The midsole is just blue, and the black part is on a sticker. It's a clear film sticker, almost like a Scotch tape that has the black in it. And eventually those peel off. Well, I took a picture of mine, peeled the sticker off, and then acetoned it down and repainted it so the stripes on it were actual paint instead of a sticker that would peel off on me. So my stripes are permanent now, but they came out great. They look exactly the way they did with the sticker on it, and they've held up great. I painted these like 10 years ago, and they still look great. My favorite 8 is an OG colorway, and that is the Bugs Bunny 8. And I know that'll surprise a lot of people because the Aqua 8 has purple in it. It's also an OG, but the Bugs Bunny 8, just the coloring in it, color blocking, cleanness of it, it's an amazing shoe. I love the playoff too, but I think, yep, the Bugs Bunny 8 takes it for me. This is my favorite 8. My favorite 9 will probably also surprise a few people, and I didn't pull one down because they're right here. And that is the Becker 9. Very different, very standout, very noticeable shoe when you're wearing it. But the design in the Becker 8 is just really, really cool looking. I love the shoe. The kid that designed this one should have been a designer because it's just gorgeous. I love the Becker 8. I like all the Beckers with the different deal. This one's the red on the bottom. The other one's the green. If you've never seen a pair of these in person, really got to go to a sneaker show and pick a pair up and look at them. They're just better looking in person than they are in pictures when you see them. My favorite 10. I know I got a 10 out. Here it is. This will probably also surprise a few people. I'm torn between 2 pairs, but I'm going to go with this one as my favorite. This is the Ice Blue 10. The Linen 10 is another favorite of mine. But I'm going with the Ice Blue as my favorite all-around 10. Again, blue is one of my favorite colors. This has 2 different shades of blue in it. Gorgeous shoe, and quality on it was crazy. If you look at this, I mean, it's barely any creasing or anything in it, and I have worn this shoe so much. I've actually played ball in this shoe, and you could not tell it by looking at it. Just an amazing piece of history standing here in my hand. The Ice Blue 10 is my favorite 10. Now we're going to get to the 11. And my favorite 11 is probably the favorite 11 of about 1/3 of sneakerheads. And I was actually having a tough time because I'll go back and forth between the Concord and the Space Jam. I love both of them almost equally, but the Concord is, I guess, flashier, stands out a little more. Gorgeous shoe. Both of them are, the Space Jam and the Concord. But I'm going to go with the Concord as my favorite 11. My favorite 12. I thought I got one down. I did. My favorite 12 is the Playoff. And there's a couple different versions of the Playoff. I've got all of them. I'll grab another one real quick. Okay, so here's the most recent release that we just got last year. Here's the one from 2009. Now, they look so much like the same shoe, but I'm going to tell you the 2009 Playoff 12 is my favorite 12. They're almost identical, but the Jumpman on the toe is black on the newer one. It's red on the 2009, and just that little hint of difference, making it stand out a little bit differently. I'm going to go with the 2009 version of the Playoff 12 as my favorite 12. Both of them are amazing. They're gorgeous. And the 12 was probably the toughest one for me to pick a favorite. I go back and forth sometimes between these, the Taxi, the Cherry, and the Obsidian, but I'm going to go with the Playoff as my favorite 12, specifically the 2009 version. For the favorite 13, a lot of you already know what my favorite 13 is because I've talked about it in other videos, even have a name tag with the image of this shoe in my name built into it. It is one of my top 5 all-time shoes, and that is the He Got Game 13. I have almost every version of this shoe. This one here is I think this is a 2012. Is that right? Yep, 2012. I also have the 97 version. I have the 2008 version from the Countdown Pack. I have the 2012, but I do not have the most recent version that came out in, I want to say 2018, maybe 19. I forget. But I never ended up getting a pair of those because both of my 12 and my 2008 are still in great shape, holding up well. No separation, no cracking, no nothing. And so I didn't try real hard to pick that up, even though it is one of my favorite all-time shoes. I would even say this, it's definitely in my top 5 for sure. And then we have one shoe left to go to because you asked me for 1 through 14. My favorite 14, and I know a lot of you don't even like 14s. Some of you love 14s. I'm one of those who actually really loves a 14. Different comfort levels for different people. It all depends on how your foot is shaped. And I guess my foot is shaped just right for a 14 because I can wear them all day and still feel like they're comfortable. And my favorite is the black toe, specifically the version with the flatter panels. They do have a version of it with the lines that are like padded, quilted lines going down the side. But the flat panel, the way Jordan wore it, the black toe 14, this one's going to be my favorite 14, partially because he wore it that just clean black and white with hints of red, Chicago colorway. Yep, the black toe 14 is my favorite 14. So there you have my favorites, 1 through 14. This will be the part 1 of the video, and I'll do another one. Stay tuned. Keep your eye out for that. It'll be coming in a day or two. And I will do a favorite 1 through 14 without using OG colorways. Favorite non-OG colorways 1 through 14 coming next. I'm Mastro Mixes. Thanks for watching. Before you go, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. Tell me what video you would like to see me do next.